I'm not going to tell you that squeezing in hobbies into your already jam-packed lives is going to be easy, because it's not. But just like you guys, I found myself in this dreaded loop where I was just going to work and sleeping and eating and just surviving and not really living. I just felt like I had no time for anything else, and I became the king of just having excuses when it came to hobbies. But not having those little bursts of joy and excitement within my day at this point just left me feeling really dull and empty. But then I discovered this game-changing idea called micro hobbies. I'm talking about no strings attached hobbies that can catch your interest for a day, a week, a month, even up to a year. And at any point, if the spark fades, you're not interested anymore, just move on, which was perfect for someone like me with ADHD that just has a tendency to bounce around from one thing to the next. No hefty commitments, no breaking the bank, just setting up a little bit of time for me to just get my mind somewhere else. And the best part was I didn't have to become a master or an expert at this. It was something that I could lean into and be gloriously, wonderfully terrible at. My initial attempts at this included coloring, learning to play the piano, and baking. But let's just say those were all pretty short-lived. But after some reflecting, I rediscovered some things that really lit me up. Like the day I decided to pick up a PlayStation for the first time in 15 years and being able to play games that I never got to experience before, and that nostalgia and that escapism that came with it, and just being so gratified by the new graphics that I wasn't used to since the PlayStation 2. And then there was Lego projects, which started as ultimately a joke. I thought that the gauntlet from Marvel was cool, so I picked it up, and it actually became such a meditative practice and fun just to sit down and concentrate and really practice on my ADHD and staying still and building something that actually ultimately looked pretty cool. And this Lego building process rolled over to me rebuilding things like my laptop and optimizing it for RAM and storage space, and just really embracing that DIY person that is in me that just enjoys those types of projects. Initially, this felt like an arm wrestling match because I had a very strict routine where I was doing one thing to the next and just deviating to be able to fit time within those spots to ultimately do something that had no major payout in my mind was just very difficult. My internal dialogue would check me and ask if I really needed to dedicate time into something that was so inconsequential as a hobby. But the more I did it, the more the benefits just became undeniable. For the first time ever, I just found myself being able to just, I don't know, like switch off for a minute. To be able to just immerse myself in something that didn't have any stakes attached. There was nothing to lose. There was no job hanging by a thread, just me and my curiosity hanging out with one another. It wasn't about pushing myself or being super disciplined, but just allowing myself a few slices of what felt like mindful bliss. It was like that type of calm that you don't realize that you're missing from your life until you actually experience it. And it spilt over into my work and personal life too, where I just had this new sense of happiness because I was actually looking forward to doing something that had nothing to do with work. In reflecting on this journey, it dawned on me that this hesitation was around a wall that I just had built around myself. Setting aside those minutes for those hobbies meant that I had to reshuffle my priorities, where I would value joy over all these systems that I put in place, where I would just put productivity and results in front. But that time dedicated resulted in me just feeling like I felt like a child again for the first time in forever. It was just rediscovering myself. And the world around me just started to fill with color again, where I felt like there was more to life than just work and sleep and repeat. There was so much more that I need to experience. And I started to find joy in things that were already a part of my daily life that I just took for granted, like just being able to take my bike on the bike path on the beach to work, and seeing that is not so much of a commute anymore, but more of a fun opportunity to just look at the beach. It just made me realize how much I got entangled with social media and relying on my cell phone and not taking time to actually look at nature around me, but I was just so fixated on looking at a screen all day. It was just dulling my senses, and it wasn't allowing me time to look at everything else going on around me. So to anyone that's just feeling so weighted down by day-to-day responsibilities, I urge you, just take a few minutes a day to find a micro hobby. Find something in your day where you could just turn your brain off, where you could just rediscover your inner child. It doesn't need to cost money. It just needs to be something that can provide you some sense of escapism, something that's just going to allow you to be creative or just get your mind off of your daily responsibilities that are just continuously building up and just causing so much stress in your life. And finally, another major micro hobby that has turned into more of a primary hobby is obviously this YouTube channel, where I'm now putting so much focus and detail and patience into building this out, and it's something that I enjoy doing so much. But I wouldn't have hit record in the first place if I didn't actually have that time to reflect on things that actually brought me joy, and then realizing that I should start a YouTube channel because it's something that I really care about, and to let down my guard of feeling insecure and to think that I can't do it, and to just focus on making videos that I think are great and that can help people. If you enjoyed this video, it'd mean the world if you just give it a thumbs up. If you're watching me for the first time, welcome. I hope you subscribe. I make new videos every week, and I have so many for you that you can go back and watch now. Please let me know in the comments, what are your favorite micro hobbies? What do you do to kind of give you that sense of escapism? Because I want to know. Again, thank you all for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.
I dabble in pottery, karate. Wow. I collect small shovels.